Imagine, ginamit ni VP Sara yung mukha mo na lumabas yung dila mo as a pastor. You are doing that. You post something on your social media. Naka-out yung tongue mo. As a pastor, that's so unbecoming. As a pastor, you are supposed to be the bastion of, good manners and right conduct. As a pastor, you should be a good role model to your constituents. Pero you showing them, ganyan-ganyan, what kind of pastor are you? Si VP Sara. And you know what guys, ang hinihintay ko is pupunta talaga si VP Sara sa lugar kung saan kumandidato si Dan Fernandez and si Luis Tro. Ito kasi si Dan Fernandez, ang daming bagay na pwedeng magamit against him. But it came straight from your mouth that you hid your husband na may rape case? What kind of congresswoman are you? Because itong members ng Quadcom, itong nga sila Chua, ay mga good soldiers na daw. I don't know kung kanino soldiers, baka kay Tambaluslos, ganyan. Pero ang point dyan is, you parang undermining the legal system of the country just because you are being a good soldier. Is that being a good soldier? Is that the mark of being a good soldier? It's not. So ngayon, payback time. Pinuntahan ni VP Sara yung district kung saan tumatakbo for re-election si Joel Chua. So yun, anong naginawa ni Joel Chua ngayon? I will not resort to negative campaigning. Holy moly, what the F? Matapos niyong inatake ang isang tao, matapos yung niyurakan yung pagkatao niya, dinamay niyo pa yung mga ordinary employees ng OVP, ni-reduce nyo pa yung budget, tinanggal nyo pa yung budget because nga pinolitikan nyo si VP Sara. Sasabihin ninyo, you will not resort to negative campaigning? Naglulukuhan tayo dito. Let's talk about VP Sara na. So as you can see guys, for several weeks, I think nag 1 month ata siya doon sa The Hague. Ang sinasabi ni Claire Castro, itong bagong attack dog ng Malacanang, ang sinasabi niya is, dapat umuwi ka na dito, VP Sara, kasi nga may mga mamamayan na umaasa sa iyo. But now na nandito na si VP Sara, tapos nakita ni Claire Castro na tumaas yung survey, ang sinasabi na naman niya, baka gusto ng sambayanan na nandun talaga siya. Baka mas minahal siya na wala siya dito sa Pilipinas. So if you look at the inconsistencies of her remarks against VP Sara, it only shows na this person really is, parang napilitan to say something na hindi niya talaga gustong sabihin. Because I know, pumasya sa bar exam, so may utak siya. It's just so happened na maybe there are already narratives in place that are asked for her to say publicly. Kasi nga, controlled siya by the Marcos administration. So, yung aspeto na yan, dito natin makikita na VP Sara still has the strongest political capital, political base compared to the other national officials. Sorry. So, yun. So secondly, noong lumabas ang survey, yung mataas ang survey, yung recent surveys showing na mataas yung trust and approval rating ni BBM. This administration is lauding parang they are applauding na, oh my God, ito talaga, malakas talaga ang ni BBM kasi nga malakas siya sa survey, ganito, ganyan. Saying all the positive things about the survey. Now that the updated survey shows that BBM's trust and approval rating has been declining and even to the lowest among the previous presidents, ang sinasabi na naman nila, the survey does not represent the sentiment of 120 million Filipino people. Boom. Kabubuhan yan, guys. Ako I'm a teacher by profession. I believe really in the science of survey. Alam ko that if it is used correctly, if the people behind that survey utilized it for the real purpose, then helpful talaga yung mga survey na yan. And alam ko din na reality would tell us na may mga nagmamanipulate ng information because they wanted to push forward a certain narrative or a certain agenda, and through survey, that would help them. So, sinulat ko na din ito. Sinabi nila, they wanted to impeach VP Sara because nag-run daw sila ng survey and majority daw, 6 out of 10 Filipino daw, gusto nila na ma-impeach si VP Sara. Kaya daw, they fast-tracked the impeachment and now VP Sara is impeached in the House of Representatives. And ang kanilang basis, yung survey. Secondly, nagpa-run na naman sila ng survey showing na majority of the Filipino people daw wanted PRRD to be tried in the ICC. So ginawa nila. Ito yung sinabi ng this is what the Filipino people are saying. Dapat daw i-try daw sa ICC si Tatay Digong. So naniwala sila sa survey. And now they did all their best to bring PRRD to The Hague, undermining the current legal framework of the country and even undermining the constitutional safeguards in surrendering someone in a foreign entity. So wala yan, hindi nila inisip yan because nga yan yung sinabi ng survey. And now that the survey says VP Sara is the top among all the national public officials, hindi daw. Hindi daw yun ang survey because it doesn't represent daw the sentiments of 120 million Filipino people. Hamak mo na. Ingana sila ka bulok ng mga the way they make Filipino people dumb ba kay very obvious to the point nga frustrated na ang mga Filipino mo. Bitong ginamura na sila, magtagalog pala ako, no? That's exactly the reason why people are cussing them or telling so many bad things about them, giving them bad feedback because nga nakikita nila na binobobo nila yung Filipino people. Next. Sandali, I'm reading comments, guys. Ay, okay. Sige, shout out to Alvin and Tourism. Shout out and thank you as well for your efforts. I know nga I know na may trabaho ka dyan, pero you consistently visit the Hague just to get updates from the people there. That's why we really appreciate your effort, Alvin and Tourism. Tio, permintiha og live if possible labi na nagaduol na ang election. Yes. So if there are new issues, if there are new issues nga, magla-live ako. Okay. So ito na, sige balikan natin si VP Sara. So I'm done with the impeachment, I'm done with her survey. Now, the campaign. Ang hindi naintindihan ng House of Representatives, yung mga congressmen, lalo na yung mga members ng Quadcom, ay ang fact that VP Sara is not running for election this year. If she opts to run or if she chooses to run for president in 2028, she still has 3 more years to build the infrastructure of her political career. Yan yung hindi naintindihan ng mga congressmen. Ang ginawa nila, because there was a mandate to attack VP Sara, to demonize and assassinate her character, attack lang sila, ganyan-ganyan. And ngayon that it's election time, it's payback time. So VP Sara, pumupunta siya sa mga distrito ng mga congressman na umaatake sa kanya. First in line, si Valeriano, yung sa Quezon City, District 1 ata yan, if I am not mistaken. Pumunta si VP Sara doon. Because marami yung sinabi eh. If you look at the internet, if you browse through social media, or even if you surf it on the news, marami yung mga antics, mga chika yan si Valeriano. Pero pumunta si VP doon, yun. na body shame, wala daw liig, mga ganyan-ganyan. Because nga, VP Sara can play dirty. For so many years, for several years, tumahimik si VP Sara. She's only talking about the matters at hand. Say for example, yung sa budget niya, bakit hindi niya i-explain yung confidential fund kasi may bawal yan sa batas na you are publicly explaining the nature of a confidential matters or classified information, mga ganyan. Noon pa yan, sinabi na yan ni VP Sara. In one of her speeches during the budget hearing sa House of Representatives, sinabi niya pa, don't touch on the confidential fund. Because nga, we have COA who, that is currently doing the job. The audit is still ongoing and everything, pero hindi nakinig. Tapos nag-file pa ng position paper, nag-send pa ng position paper si VP Sara sa House of Representatives telling them that there are many cases filed against her in the Supreme Court concerning the confidential fund. So, she cannot discuss it. Kasi sub judice rule, mga ganyan. Hindi nakinig ang House of Representatives. They still continue attacking VP Sara. Now, payback time. VP Sara, as I mentioned earlier, pumupunta siya sa mga distrito. At yun, she endorsed Isko Moreno. Ang mga prominent members kasi guys ng Quadcom, yun sina Benny Abante, sila Joel Chua, yun sila, yung iba pang mga dyan, nasa yan Manila. So ang ginawa ni VP Sara, she endorsed the candidacy of Isko Moreno along with congressmen running under the PDP Laban slate ata doon. And VP Sara campaigned against the member of the Quadcom na congressman sa distrito na yon. Number 1 is si Joel Chua. Marami yan sinasabi si Joel, si Chua. Tinawag pa siya ni VP Sara na Chihuahua, ganyan. O diba? Ang galing ni VP. Hindi. So, marami siyang ginawa. Marami siyang mga sinasabi against VP Sara. Tapos, imagine he's a lawyer and he's part of the prosecution team na sa impeachment case ni VP Sara. Marami na siyang sinabi, mga ganyan, tumahimik lang si VP Sara. And what actually stunned VP Sara is when that person, Chua, said na, pakisabi naman kay VP Sara na ginagawa lang namin trabaho, we're just being a good soldier. Being a good soldier? Baka attack dog, di ba? Because if you're a good soldier, you know the difference between attacking someone just for the purpose of attacking her or asking for or seeking for accountability without infringing someone to exercise her right. Kasi ikaw yung head ng public, yung mga committee nila. If someone asks you about sub judice rule, dapat i-grant mo yan. VP Sara even asked Joel Chua na i-reconsider yung decision niya for extending the, anong tawag dyan? The detention of OVP's Chief of Staff, si Attorney Lopez. Kasi mali nga yun. Let's rationalize it. Ang sinasabi kasi nila, they cited in contempt Attorney Lopez because nga, she violated the rule daw of the Congress na may interference daw sa inquiry in aid of legislation daw nila just by sending a letter daw sa COA. Tapos when Attorney Lopez contested it na it was a mere request, it's up actually for the Commission on Audit whether or not they will grant it. So biglang binaliktad, sinabi ni Franz Castro na hindi, yung totality na lang, yung evasive ka sa pagsagot ng mga tanong and everything. Tapos yung due process, ganyan. Now, during the last hearing, yung pumunta si VP Sara, sinabihan na talaga si Chua na you have to reconsider your decision in extending the detention of Attorney Lopez because it's illegal to begin with. It is illegal because if you look at it, due process daw pala ang basis bakit nila sinight in contempt or yung na-extend yung na-extend yung detention ni Attorney Lopez. Due process. Kaya tinanong sila ni VP Sara, when it comes ba daw sa Assistant Secretary, sa Undersecretary, who is making the decision ba daw when it comes to their resignation, ganyan? walang naisagot si Joel Chua. So yan yung time na sinagot siya ni VP Sara na, it's the President. So wala kang alam, Joel. It's the President. So why are you holding someone accountable for an action that is being taken by the President himself? So yan yung sinasabi ni VP na, although, kahit na matalino ka, kahit valid yung arguments mo, pag napolitika ka talaga, because itong members ng Quadcom, itong nga sila Chua, ay mga good soldiers na daw. I don't know kung kanino soldiers, baka kay Tambaluslos, ganyan. Pero ang point dyan is, you parang undermining the legal system of the country just because you are being a good soldier. Is that being a good soldier? Is that the mark of being a good soldier? It's not. So ngayon, payback time. Pinuntahan ni VP Sara yung district kung saan tumatakbo for re-election si Joel Chua. So yun, anong naginawa ni Joel Chua ngayon? I will not resort to negative campaigning. Holy moly, what the F? Matapos niyong inatake ang isang tao, matapos niyong niyurakan yung pagkatao niya, dinamay niyo pa yung mga ordinary employees ng OVP, ni-reduce nyo pa yung budget, tinanggal nyo pa yung budget, because nga pinulitika nyo si VP Sara, sasabihin ninyong, you will not resort to negative campaigning? Naglulukuhan tayo dito. Joel Chua, if you are listening, I know you are a thinking individual because you are a lawyer. It's just that, nakonsum ka ng pamumulitika mo against VP Sara. And you failed to consider that the entire nation is watching you in the Quadcom. And nakikita nila that you are incompetent, inept as a congressman, as head of the committee that you are currently holding. So, Joel Chua, if I were you, to redeem your character, to help you win your campaign this 2025, you apologize. No one's gonna cite you in contempt. You apologize to VP Sara. Or not, even if hindi mo kaya kay VP Sara, you apologize to the ordinary OVP employees na hinaras ninyo. Nagtatrabaho lang yun sila. Just like any other people sa country natin. May mga pamilya yun. And because you want to cripple the management of OVP, you attack them. So mag-apologize ka, Joel Chua, because without you doing that, your character will not be redeemed and you will not win these 2025 elections unless if you will cheat. Trust me. With VP Sara's endorsement, it would be a walk in Jurassic Park in your end. So, Joel Chua, you apologize. Second, si Boy Dila, yung si Abante. Tumahimik si Abante, di ba? Ako guys, I'm a Baptist. I'm a fundamental Baptist. And my relatives, my uncles, two of my uncles, if I am not mistaken, they are pastors. One is General Baptist and the other one ata is Fundamental Baptist din, ganyan. So we are Baptist. As a family, we are Baptist. And the arguments of Benny Abante during the Quadcom hearing against the war on drugs of FPRRD, saying na marami daw siyang nadala ng mga Baptist, ganyan-ganyan, so dapat ganyan, pero wala daw siyang hiningi kay Pangulong Duterte. It's not true. As a Baptist myself and my family and the rest of the people sa community ko, we voted for Duterte because we see the potential in him and we see how he managed Davao City. And it's not because of the endorsement of Benny Abante. And to be honest with you guys, we only heard about Benny Abante during the Quadcom hearing. Na kung saan, di ba, ano yan ano yan daw, anong tawag dyan, matapang, ganyan-ganyan. Matapang lang yan because they are in position to cite someone in contempt if they don't like the answers. But outside, wala yan. Mahina yan. And look at now. Tama yung sinasabi ko. Mahina siya. Imagine, ginamit ni VP Sara yung mukha mo na lumabas yung dila mo as a pastor. You are doing that. You post something on your social media, naka-out yung tongue mo as a pastor. That's so unbecoming. As a pastor, you are supposed to be the bastion of, good manners and right conduct. As a pastor, you should be a good role model to your constituents. Pero you showing them, ganyan-ganyan, what kind of pastor are you? And secondly, ang umaatake ngayon kay VP Sara is not Pastor Abante, but his daughter, yung lawyer daw, yung hindi maganda, siya yung umaatake kay VP Sara. Oh, well, given she's the spokesperson of Hani Lacuna and at the same time the chief of staff of Benny Abante, so ginawa nilang kabuhayan yung politika, 'di ba? Imagine you're someone's daughter and you're working as his chief of staff, but at the same time concurrently you are working as the spokesperson of Mayor Hani Lacuna and as a councilor, if I'm not mistaken. Grabe naman. Is that the reason bakit kayo yumaman? Benny Abante, you should answer this question. For a pastor kasi, if I'm not mistaken, kinukuhaan lang yan sila, binibigyan lang ata yan sila ng monthly stipend, tapos yung mga bigay-bigay ng mga church members, etc. And talaga, unless siguro kung nagpastor ka na, mayaman ka na, tapos nagpastor ka ganyan. Pero for a pastor to afford luxury cars and watches, that's very questionable. So instead of you, Benny Abante, and your daughter attacking VP Sara now, why don't you answer the Filipino people? Because we are very curious, because if being a pastor would actually make me super, super rich, that would enable me to afford all the luxury cars and watches in the world, then I would resign from my work now and I would study, theology. Magpapastor ako. So, bigay kayo ng tip, paano nyo ginawa, paano nyo nakuha yung mga mamahaling cars na yun, paano kayo nakakaon ng mga mamahaling watches. Yan yung dapat hindi yung dapat inaatake nyo si VP Sara. Tapos ngayon, instead of Abante taking a swipe on VP Sara's statement, wala siyang ginawa kasi nga, wala siyang power to cite someone in contempt. Ito yung sinasabi namin na yung mga congressman ninyo dyan sa mga distrito ninyo, matapang lang yan sila kapag nasa loob ng Kongreso, pag nasa House of Representatives sila. It is because that's their turf. That's their territory. They can do whatever they wanna do. Kaya nga si General Grijaldo, di ba? Na-detain lang. I mean, just because nag-testimony siya sa Senate, pagdating sa HOR, na-cite in contempt na siya. And until now, hindi pa nakalaya. So, hindi lang si Grijaldo yung yung pamilya. You crippled the breadwinner of someone's family. Ganyan kayo kawalang hiya dyan sa House of Representatives. Kaya kayong mga tao, if nakikita nyo ako ngayon dito or naririnig nyo ako while I'm on live, butuhin nyo naman yung talaga, may puso. Yung alam nila yung ginagawa nila sa Kongreso, hindi yung puro pamumulitika. Marami ng buhay Ako mismo, always nila pinopost online yung pangalan ko na pinapatawag sa TRICOM for fake news peddling, and without me getting any valid invitation from them, show cause order or subpoena, I'm not getting anything from them. Tapos paano? Sira na pangalan ko because nasa media na, pinost na ng Philstar, pinost na ng Inquirer, pinost na ng GMA, ng ABS-CBN. So alam nyo ba, I know na politika yung ginagawa talaga nila, and actually yung main target talaga nila is si VP Sara. But since we are talking about VP Sara, we are defending VP Sara, or even writing about the platforms and programs and all the things that the OVP has done to the country, kami din yung tinarget nila, and they are converting our opinions, our commentaries as news, so that it would be easier for them to say that it's fake news. Okay, we will detain you, we will sue you because it's fake news and all those things. Yeah, ganyan sila. So ngayon, si VP Sara. And you know what guys, ang hinihintay ko is pupunta talaga si VP Sara sa lugar kung saan kumandidato si Dan Fernandez and si Luis Tro. Ito kasi si Dan Fernandez, ang daming bagay na pwedeng magamit against her, him. Herm. Yon. Hindi, pati din si Louis Strong, marami eh. Imagine, you are acting as a very clean, you are acting as a very clean representative of your district, but it came straight from your mouth that you hid your husband na may rape case. What kind of congresswoman are you? Diba? Imagine, very proud ka. Ako, lawyer ako, pinagtatanggol ko yung ibang tao, kaya tinago ko yung asawa ko. Hala, tinago mo yung tinago mo yung may rape case. Okay, natin, let's be fair here. Ang sinabi niya man daw is na-dismiss daw yung kaso, pero the fact na you evaded the arrest, you hid your husband, and your husband evaded the arrest, the lawful arrest, because there was a case filed against him, proud ka pa na tinago mo siya? So, yan yung excited ako na pupuntahan niya ni VP Sara kung saang district sa Batangas yan si Louis Tro. Ang sinabi nga ni attorney, sino nga yan, si Yes Yo, Topacio, na Louis Tro is smart if you are not smart. So, people think Louis Tro is smart because they are not smart, parang ganyan. So, basa tayo dito. Sorry kasi hindi ko kasi nakikita yung mga comments nyo. It's not showing up sa screen ko. So, dito na lang muna. Sir Tio, suggest ko lang, next time po, pag gagawa kayo ng article, pwede po ba Tagalog po para mas maraming Filipino ang nakakaintindi sa issue ngayon? Pwede naman po. It's just that, hindi ako fluent sa Filipino. You know, yung mama ko kasi IP, Manobo. So, I know how to speak Manobo a little bit. Tapos yung bata ako, na-expose ako sa mga kalaro ng mga Manobo people, ganyan. So, the language, the dialect that they speak, na alam ko din yan. Tapos, growing up, pumunta kami sa lugar ng papa ko, wherein mga Ilonggo sila. That's why I have an accent. The way I talk, nagbe-bend yung ano ko. Kasi nasanay ako, I think for 10 years ata na I'm speaking Hiligay nun. So, balaan ko mag-Ilonggo. Tapos, pag mag-uwi ako, hindi na po rin. Tapos, pagdating ko dito sa Davao, I encountered so many people na they are using Tagalog as their, medium of communication. Like the Konyuan, the Davao Konyuan, like, saan kayo magpunta? Mag-ana-ana ba? Maganyan-ganyan. So, kaya hindi ako fluent. And then, I studied English in college. So, that's the reason why I know how to write in English. I know how to construct sentences in English. And it would be, and I find it more easy for me to speak in English than to speak in Tagalog, or to write in English than to write in Tagalog. Kasi medyo medyo awkward sa akin. Medyo nga ako nahihirapan sa difference between ng nang na NG and nang na NANG. Minsan hindi ko alam kung paano talaga siya gagamitin. But when I translated it in English, so I can find better words, better terms, so it's easier for me to write in English. So yan yung reason why I'm writing in English. Basta pa, ang dami nyo na palang comments dito, ha. Okay, pupunta tayo later sa party list. Basa lang muna ako ng comment, break muna because I'm running out of ideas na, I'm running out of words. May nagsabi dito, Benny Abante, banal na aso, santong kabayo. Bakit ang itsura niya di pastor, mukhang manyak? Grabe naman. Hindi ako nagsabi nito, ha. Ano pa? Hi Paolo, shout out sa iyo. Ano pa? Panay na lang panggigipit ginagawa nila sa Duterte. Love this topic, sir. Thank you. Sa Surigao City, wala silbi, matugas at barbers lang pilian. Puro nag-sign ng impeachment. Exactly. Ay, kamupod mga taga Surigao, nakita naman ninyo nga despite being a tourism, one of the best tourism spots here in the country, you are not really progressing. If you are being led by the right people, then definitely your place would improve or would be much better now. But then again, stagnant kayo dyan. Because you keep on electing incompetent people. Puro pamumulitika. Yung mga mining dyan sa inyo, na-resolve na ba? Hindi pa, di ba? Yung mga pobre dyan, may pagkain pa ba? Wala. Because nga, you are electing the same traditional politicians. Dito pa. Uy, nadi akong idol, Amy Ginita. Hello, friend. Dami nagpo-post doon kay Boy Dila. Exactly, triggered sila masyado because ayun lang, yan lang ginawa ni VP, naghanap ng prop, tapos pinakita yung photo ni Boy Dila. Wala, sira yung election campaign niya. Nawala yung lahat ng mga prophetic, what's the right right term ba? Yung mga pang prophecy niya na nawala yung pagka-Bible pagka-Bible enthusiast, ganyan. Okay. Dito, ano ko lang to ha. Iboto natin si Amy at Camille kasi kapag di natin sinunod si VP, tayo ang unang magta-traitor kay VP. Tayo ang unang magta-traitor kay VP kasi inaasahan niya tayong mga supporters niya. Good point actually, pero it's not really the point. This is how I see it. Guys, if you look at the dynamics now, as the election is fast approaching, Amy Marcos is used to be part of the Alianza, pero nag-withdraw siya. She has her reasons. And one of her reasons actually is that she cannot campaign the same platforms that the members of the Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas are campaigning. Meaning to say, they don't share the same the same maybe political belief and all those things. And that's one of the reasons why Amy withdrew from Alianza. Now that she has withdrawn her seat membership in the Alianza, she's being endorsed by VP Sara. And on my previous posts, if nagbabasa talaga kayo guys, although tinatawag niyo akong double agent because I'm talking about Amy, I don't care actually. It's just that you also need to understand we need numbers in the Senate. And apart from that, there are conversations really that we did not hear, and there are negotiations happening in the national office that are not meant for public consumption. So, may mga bagay na mga ganyan po. Ang nakikita ko kasi dito, si Amy kasi is the current head of the Senate Committee in Foreign Relations and at the same time the election. And at the election committee, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. Tapos if you trace the hearings that Amy Marcos conducted, Amy actually is giving us more materials to hold those people accountable of kidnapping FPRRD and bringing him sa The Hague. I know na ang best argument niyo, bakit hindi niya ma-mention yung pangalan ng kapatid niya? Yun naman talaga ang mastermind. I agree. The thing kasi guys is if you accuse, dapat you have all the solid pieces of evidence. Now even if Amy would file a case against her brother, walang laban si Amy because the president is immune from suit. So there is a constitutional safeguard for the president that they should be immune from suit because that would affect their public duty as the duly elected president of the country. So hindi pwede. Now, ang next thing here is yung impeachment. Possible yung impeachment. All we need to do is actually to get more allies in the Congress para makakuha tayo ng number just enough to impeach BBM. How do we impeach BBM? By pointing out all the violations he committed to the country. One of the biggest violations that he committed is allowing a Filipino citizen to be brought to the ICC, undermining the constitutional safeguards. Another thing is allowing the fast-track impeachment case against VP Sara that is constitutionally infirm. These all constitute culpable violation of the Constitution. And if you have violated the Constitution as the President, you are betraying the Filipino people. So betrayal of public trust is also a very big, a very strong ground for that aspect. So ito yung sinasabi ko guys. Si Amy Marcos ang nag-open sa lahat ng materials na we can use. When did we know that the ambassador did not even carefully read the paper that he has signed before bringing FPRRD to the ICC? It was only during the Senate hearing conducted by Amy Marcos. And now, na-exposed. Ngayon, tinatago nila yung pilot, hindi nila pinapakita. Because if pumunta lang yung pilot during the Senate hearing, it would be easier to trace kung sino talaga ang may utos. Now, kung nakita na ang may utos, nakita naman talaga. So, Torre was saying that he only listened to Marbil. Marbil was saying na ito kasi ang sinabi ng DOJ. So yun, na-connect na yan. If you are carefully listening to the Senate hearing, guys, you would understand that the foundation to hold these people accountable are all already there. Nandun na lahat. Ang hinihintay na lang natin is to reach to the conclusion na it was really BBM or it was not really BBM who allowed the unlawful arrest of FPRRD. Ito yung dapat ninyong maintindihan. And with Amy Marcos doing all these things, Amy Marcos is actually indirectly helping out the legal team of FPRRD for them to have a very strong pieces of evidence to prosecute these individuals. Because even if we hold BBM accountable alone, without holding accountable the people who are the executioners, the people who are doing the task in the ground, so it would be useless. So with Amy Marcos hearing, nakita natin ang mga violations na na-commit ni Torre, ang violations na na-commit ni Marbil, ng DOJ and everyone. 'Di ba? Yan yung reason na nakita ko why VP Sara wholeheartedly endorsed Amy Marcos. And if you go back even before the ICC issue, guys, it is Amy Marcos who is exposing almost every major scandal in the country. For example, yung sa kidnapping, yung sa rice hoarding, yung sa AKAP. Amy Marcos actually vows to halt or stop the 39 billion AKAP. But she was actually surprised to see that binigyan ng AKAP budget ang Senate and nag-continue ang budget ng AKAP ng House of Representatives. Kaya ba yan ni Amy? Now, pagsasabihin niyo, hindi kasi siya ang nag-plan of everything. Do you think it would be an addition or it would be value-adding for her to eat her words or to simply like play with everything even if she is the one who exposed it? Yung nakita natin, yung nag-react tayo na nangunguha, anong tawag dyan? Ang hirap ng Tagalog. The people of Martin Romualdez or the allies of Martin Romualdez are gathering signature for the People's Initiative to change the Constitution. Sino ba ang nakipaglaban? I understand nakipaglaban si Tatay Digong, exposing na it's unconstitutional and everything. But who has the better position to hold them accountable, expose them, and even block the People's Initiative? It was Amy Marcos. Si Amy Marcos, tinawag niya pa si Romualdez na ang kapal naman ng mukha. O baka gusto maging Prime Minister, kaya ganyan-ganyan. It was also Amy Marcos who exposed that it was, if I'm not mistaken, 20 million or 20 billion, correct me if I'm wrong, ang budget daw ni Romualdez to push through with the People's Initiative. If it did not happen, if no one from the Senate acted on it, do you think it would be stopped? Martin Romualdez would have been the most powerful man now in the country. Siya na yung Prime Minister, if not change talaga yung Constitution. But, nag-stop. It was Amy acting as an opposition despite being a member of the Marcos family. Despite being the presidential sister. Nasaan yung sila Risa Hontiveros? Nasaan yung mga kakamping dyan? Anong ginawa nila? Wala. But it was Amy who strongly really opposed the People's Initiative, kaya hindi natuloy until now. Amy also urged the Commission on Elections to dispose, basura the People's Initiative Because nga, it's unconstitutional. It did not follow the procedures set by the Constitution for someone or for people to change the Constitution. It was Imee. Dapat you should understand na ganyan yung nangyayari ngayon sa politika. Kaya nga nakita natin in-endorse siya ni VP Sara. Now, with regard to Camille, ang position ko kasi kay Camille, guys, is not because she's a Villar, but because of the legacy that her family had with the Duterte clan. Ang sinasabi ko nga sa inyo, in 2016, Villar did not field his party with a presidential candidate because they wanted to help Tatay Digong. Villar is a billionaire. He has the machinery. He has the money. He can mobilize political movements and everything. And it's very possible for him to do so. But he didn't. Instead, he was very supportive of FPRRD. When 2019 ata, if I'm not mistaken, when Cynthia Villar ran for senator, it was PRRD who endorsed her, making her the top 1 senator ata at that time. Correct me, I'm not so sure with the timeline na ha, pero you can research it on the internet. And it enabled Cynthia Villar to get 25 million votes. Now, in the span of 6 years, from 2016 to 2022, Mark Villar has been very supportive of Duterte through the DPWH Bill Bid program. And you think, guys, from the father to the mother to the brother, and do you think Camille would parang deviate from that legacy that the Villar has built with the Duterte family? Impossible. Again, outside politics, there is friendship, there are relationships. And it's a completely different matter. But the thing now is, someone is in the line of fire being attacked by people from different parties or from different groups of the political spectrum. And it is VP Sara. VP Sara is fighting for her political career. VP Sara, if impeached, would be permanently banned from running in a public office. What would happen, guys? All the efforts that we've put into our work now to help support the Dutertes would be useless. Because who's next after VP Sara? In 2028. Sino yung mas prepared? It's only VP Sara. That's why Camille Villar is a very good addition also to the PDP Laban senatorial slate. Now, in 2028, if by God's grace, VP Sara won't get impeached, and then Camille Villar will win as senator, then I think, guys, this is how I see it, because nga, Villars have been very supportive of the Dutertes, it would be possible that a Villar will be acting as a running mate. Any of the Villar will act as a running mate of VP Sara. Fund is already there. Machinery is already there. Political party is already there. So it would be a very, very good alliance now, because it's not about the ano alone. It's not about, for example, ano tawag dyan? It's not about the family name of Camille Villar alone, but it's more of surviving the political persecution that VP Sara is currently facing or getting from the current administration. Imagine ha, Camille is still part of the Alyansa. Hindi pa nila tinanggal technically si Camille despite being endorsed by VP Sara because Camille has funds. And Camille is enabling the Alyansa to mobilize. What about we get Camille to our side to help us out in the upcoming elections? I'm just being practical. You cannot win elections without money. Yun. I hope naintindihan nyo yan. So that's the point why I'm promoting why I am promoting Amy Marcos and Camille Villar. And another thing din is, as I mentioned earlier, the only way for us to impeach and remove BBM in the office is actually to get more allies in the Congress. Now sa nakikita natin ngayon, maraming tumatakbo under the admin slate, 'di ba? Under Marcos Marcos anong tawag diyan? Line up na mga congressmen sa mga district nila. And may mga budget sila. Kaya nga nag-sign ng impeachment para may budget, 'di ba? Ganyan yung nila Ganyan yung mga galawan nila. Now, we cannot expect really a fair election now. But unfortunately, we won't be able to win the congressional seat in each district, we can still bank on the party list, guys. Although ako, personally although may mga positive pros and cons yung party list, pero ngayon kasi, since nandyan na yan at hindi pa tinatanggal ang party list, so we should deal with it. We should play with it. So ang nakikita ko ngayon, one of the ways for us to get more allies in the Congress is to let all the party list that are pro-Dutertes to win a seat. Ngayon guys, may 63 seats for the party list. Now, 32 million people voted for VP Sara. If we can distribute the votes or the 32 million votes to the top 10 pro-Duterte party list, then it would be easier for us to get that 63 congressional seat open for the party list representatives. So kaya nga ngayon guys, alam ko na, yung PPP party list, I have always been a supporter, pero nakikita ko yung effort nila sa Visayas and Mindanao, and I know that if they will not be able to get 3 seats, I think 1 or 2 seats, that's already given to them. Given that Davao base vote, ganyan, 1.6 voters ata kami sa Davao, so that's enough for them to get a very good seat in the Senate, in the House of Representatives. Now, second is yung Duterte Youth. Duterte Youth is already a name. They were already able to establish their name since 2019 ata, if I am not mistaken, ha. Pero ang masasabi ko lang, winning sila even the surveys, because nga Duterte Youth, kitang-kita yung pangalan nila. Now guys, what we should do now is to help out those other party lists that are very supportive of the Dutertes, but they don't have so much clout ba? I hope you understand me. And one of the party lists that I'm actually endorsing, guys, is the Juan Aguila party list. Ang Juan Aguila, guys, halos members dyan ay Eagles, members ng Eagles Club. Alam natin kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga Eagles Club. Although, hindi talaga sila kilala because they are new. They're just starting. Just like how Timog, how PBA, how Marino started when they asked for VP Sara's endorsement, the Digong's endorsement, ganyan. Ganyan din sila ngayon. Pero at the very least now, hindi talaga sila parang like, we are begging for your endorsement. Kung bibigyan sila ng endorsement, it's completely okay. But if they will not be given an endorsement, that's completely fine. They're just gonna do their job. So yung Juan Aguila, guys, nakikita ko yung vision and mission nila for the country. And the mission and vision really aligned with the mission and vision or the advocacies and the programs and projects, the platforms that PRRD has started in 2016. Peace and order, education, economy, and everything, all those stuff, that's already part of the PPP. And also guys, nakita ko din na very supportive si Kong Herrera. Nakita niyo yung babae sa bagong henerasyon party list, BH party list. Siya kasi yung siya yung sumalpal, ay ang hirap ng Tagalog, no? She actually, hirap din maghanap ng term sa English. Siya yung, pinataob sa argument si Stella Kimbo. Stella Kimbo, if I'm not mistaken, is summa cum laude ata sa UP during her time, and she's the top one among all the UPs in the Philippines. Siya yung top student ata. Ganyan katalino si sino yan? Stella Kimbo. But when she was faced by Kong Herrera in a debate sa HOR, wala. Boom! Basag yung katalinuhan niya lahat. So also the BH party list, very very supportive din sa kay Tatay Digong. Also the Bisaya gyud kay Greco Belhica, very supportive din, very active. Ano pa ba? Ipanaw, yan yung kay Eric and Lorraine Badoy, that's for the indigenous people. Ano pa bang party list meron tayo? Marami pa actually. Na nasa post ko, tingnan nyo yung post ko, or kung nasa broadcast channel kayo, yung broadcast channel ko kasi is Protect VP Sara. So lahat ng mga pinopost ko doon has something to do with how I protect VP Sara. It's not only about the words, it's more also of the strategy ba, the grassroots strategy for us to help out VP Sara win her impeachment case, and at the same time make her the next president of the country because she's our only remaining hope. So, yan yung point ko. So, kung hindi pa kasi nakapasok sa broadcast channel, doon ko pinopost mostly yung mga links and yung mga updates, mga announcements and everything. So, follow kayo. Nilamon na ng pera si Kimbo. Correct. Next, I would prefer voting for EPA-NOW party list under Doc Lorian and Kara. Very good, very good. It's completely okay. Again, guys, when it comes to the party list voting, you can only vote one. You wag nyo nang dagdagan. Kung sino lang yung feeling nyo na mas malapit sa puso ninyo, yan yung i-vote ninyo. Pero you should make sure that it's Duterte aligned party list, because we're not only seeing we are not only focusing on their advocacy, but we are also strategizing on how to remove this incompetent leader that we currently have. Diba? Again, impeachment is a battle of number. Without numbers, you won't be able to do that. So we need to get more allies in the House of Representatives for us to push through with that. And also, I'm also supporting those congressmen who are running now, who really vow to like file an impeachment case against BBM if they get elected. So it's a very good development, but now we are seeing a few people who are really standing with us in our advocacy and in our fight towards justice, to bring FPRRD home, to save VP Sara from the political persecution that she is currently facing, and to also remove those people who are in power now who haven't done anything significant for the country but to bankrupt the government coffers and everything. So marami tayong dapat hindi lang tayo nakafocus sa isang sa isang aspect ng leadership or ng politics. So I hope naintindihan niyo yung mga points ko, guys. Yeah, nakakatuwa, nag-live ka na din, Tio. I watched you live with Joey and Attorney Trixie last night. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you as well for your support. So, by 7:45, I'll end the live. So, parang almost an hour na ako dito. It's very good actually, guys, na you're here, you're listening. So, hindi bumaba sa 500 po yung mga viewers natin. Thank you guys for all your support. And yeah, please continue to share my posts and although you don't agree with it sometimes, I know, because I can't blame you, because we are not an echo chamber. You know what I mean? Sa DDS na political spectrum, although we fight the same causes, but we don't have the same we don't share the same strategies, and we don't share the same narratives. Kasi nga, pag pareho tayo ng narrative, nakikita nyo yung mga kakamping, pare-pareho sila ng pinagsasabi, kulay rosas ang bukas, liwanag sa dilim, maganyan, and without them providing us with substantial arguments or substantial information that would help us understand the causes that they are advocating for. Kasi nga echo chamber yan sila. Kung ano ang pinagsasabi ng for example, isang influencer nila, they peddle that, they amplify the narrative, kaya nga yun, nagva-viral sila sa Twitter. But when it comes to the DDS political group, we are not like that. We're not an echo chamber. I have my own analysis. I post it. This is how I see the issue. This is my argument. This is how I strategize and everything. And so this is different as well with the strategy of Attorney Trixie, Joey, and the rest of the DDS. Crisette is iba din yung mga arguments ni Crisette. More on like the lit side, the literature side of political conversation. But when you look at it, and when you analyze it, the same cause lang to bring FPRRD, to help out VP Sara and everything. So yan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, guys, na although we don't share the same arguments sometimes, you do not assassinate my character. Dalawang kaso I'm facing 2 cases because of me defending the Duterte. So don't ever question my loyalty to the Duterte family, because nga I've been through a lot. My mom, they attacked my mom while in the hospital na stroke, because nga because of their hatred to the Dutertes, and I continue to support the Dutertes. They tried to bribe me, millions of money to bribe me. I didn't accept it because nga I have my own principles and I know that the money will be gone, but the trust and loyalty will continue forever until the end of time, na kung saan pwede kang you will be remembered for you not selling your principle, your loyalty. So ang masasabi ko lang sa inyo guys is laban lang tayo, and ngayong election, suggestion lang ito, if you guys can wear green, you should wear, because that's an indication na makikita natin if how many are the voters of the Duterte slate, PDP Laban, or those people who are supporting the Duterte family. So dyan natin makikita. So wear green para makita natin may optics tayo, para if the moment na dadayain nila, we have enough reasons to hold them accountable if they continue with their plan on massive cheating.